Granny couldn't recall a single thing that had happened a year ago or even the day before. She wasn't even aware of her own age. Her grandson visited her every once in a while, and each time, she was taken aback by how quickly he had grown. She was even more surprised when he came with his little boy, her great-grandson. She loved holding the sweet boy on her lap, feeling very happy. Her grandson had long conversations with his parents, but she didn't care much, being occupied with the bundle of joy that looked so much like her daughter when she was a baby.
Я не хочу жить в этой стране, мама. Я очень хороший специалист, и я устал от постоянной дискриминации из-за того, что я еврей. Я знаю, что смогу добиться большего, если поеду в Америку.
Но, сынок, а как же моя бабушка? Ей будет слишком трудно так далеко путешествовать.
Мам, поверь мне, все будет хорошо. Я позабочусь обо всем. Бабушка,
I turned to his grandmother.
ты хочешь поехать в Америку со мной?
He smiled widely at her.
Кто такая Рика? Твоя девушка. Тогда полагается ее привезти сюда для знакомства.
He got up from his seat and hugged his grandma.
Я женат, бабушка. А это мой сын.
Я знаю, и ты такой сладенький мальчик, правда? Да.
Granny replied, and he often mixed up old memories with the present. Despite suffering from sclerosis, she had a content life, surrounded by her daughter and son-in-law, who provided her with the best care. When her daughter told her about the move to America, Granny was lost and quickly forgot the conversation. She assumed they were simply moving to the next street, and was not pleased with the idea.
Почему вам не нравится эта квартира? Я жила здесь всю свою жизнь, и я не могу представить себе лучшего места. Где вы еще найдете такие высокие потолки?
She tried to persuade her daughter to stay, but eventually, they found themselves on their way to America. The family of 3 settled in a 1-bedroom apartment in Brooklyn. Granny was initially unhappy with the move, thinking she was a guest in someone else's house. Sitting in her favorite armchair, she constantly asked her daughter when they would go back home, frowning at the unfamiliar sounds of the Brooklyn streets outside. But soon, Sonia hung the wall rugs and framed photos on the wall, Granny's wedding picture, family holidays in Ukraine, hoping these small pieces of the past would ease her mother's transition. Soon, Granny felt at home again. She didn't venture outside, so she was unaware of the different customs and ways of life in the U.S., and her life quickly returned to its familiar routine. She lived there for 5 more years. According to U.S. law, a person who has been residing in the U.S. for 5 years can apply for citizenship, which comes with many advantages. However, the process of becoming a citizen requires the applicant to go through a long bureaucratic process and to pass certain tests. As Granny was already 89 years old, she did not have to take the English test, but she was required to answer some questions regarding American society and history. Since Granny was not able to visit the government agency herself, a representative was sent to her apartment to ask her the questions. Granny's daughter volunteered to act as her translator. When the government agency representative, a young black woman, appeared at the front door, Granny, who had rarely seen a black person, became overwhelmed with emotion.
Соня. Посмотри. Негритянка.
Please come in.
Sonia welcomed the woman warmly into their home. Granny didn't need to be told why the woman was there, she wouldn't have comprehended anyway. Still believing she lived on Danilevsky Street in Kharkov, Ukraine, the woman pulled out some paperwork from her suitcase and began filling out the application form.
What is your name?
She asked with a warm smile. Sonia translated.
Мама, она спрашивает твое имя.
Feeling irritated, Granny snapped.
Зачем этой негритянке понадобилось мое имя?
Мама, пожалуйста, будь вежливой. Она ничего плохого не сказала.
Sonia said with a smile and turned to the woman and translated.
She said her name was Sarah and her last name was Lavina.
Can you spell your last name?
Lavina.
When were you born, Mrs. Lavina?
The lady smiled again, showing her pristine white teeth, which was a rarity in Ukraine. Granny noticed that the woman had a defiant look on her face.
Мама, она хочет узнать тебя получше и спрашивает, в каком году ты родилась.
Почему она лыбится на меня?
Granny was wary. All her life she had lived in Ukraine and had never seen a stranger smile without cause. If she was smiling, then, there must be something wrong. In their former homeland, smiling without cause was often seen as a sign of either mockery or foolishness.
She was born in 1898.
Sonia answered the question.
Oh my God.
The lady exclaimed in surprise.
What a long life. And what date?
She smiled again.
Мама, она спрашивает, когда у тебя день рождения.
Sonia said.
Что она хочет от меня? А зачем мне нужно помнить мой день рождения? Я слишком стара, чтобы помнить это.
She was born May 16, 1898.
Sonia translated.
Very good.
The woman concluded, having finished the application.
Ms. Lavina, I will ask a few questions. Please answer them.
Что там она говорит?
Granny asked, her irritation evident.
Мама, она задаст тебе несколько вопросов. Пожалуйста, я тебя очень прошу, будь спокойна. Я тебе обещаю, что все объясню, когда она уйдет. Хорошо.
Почему я должна успокоиться?
Granny asked through her sobs.
Я ничего плохого не делаю. Сколько времени эта негритянка будет унижать меня своими насмешками? Почему ты не выгонишь ее? Я старая женщина. Ей должно быть стыдно насмехаться надо мной.
Realizing there was no way to explain to her mother why an American black woman, who was happily beaming simply because life was beautiful, Sonia disregarded her mother and addressed the woman.
She'll be happy to answer your questions.
Ms. Lavina, who is the President of the United States?
The lady asked in an official voice. Granny was taken aback by the sudden change in the lady's face, and her mood shifted to her daughter.
Я задала тебе вопрос. Почему ты меня игнорируешь? Кто научил тебя быть такой неуважительной к своей матери?
Мамочка, пожалуйста, не нервничай. Все хорошо. Она спрашивает, кто президент Соединенных Штатов.
Granny was stunned by the unexpected inquiry, and needed a moment to collect her thoughts.
О чем ты говоришь? Америка. Президент. Может, ты меня еще о Китае спросишь? Зачем мне это знать, что за ерунду ты несешь?
She said the President of the United States is Bill Clinton.
Sonia translated to the lady, who was surprised at the accuracy of the answer. Although she hadn't heard Granny say the name, Bill Clinton, Sonia had conveyed the correct message.
This is the correct answer, Ms. Lavina, you are doing very well.
The lady said, showing her pearly white teeth again.
Please tell me, who was the first President of the United States?
Что она там каркает на своем тарабарском языке? И почему ты ей улыбаешься? Никакого уважения к старости.
Мама, я тебя очень люблю. Ты можешь сказать этой приятной женщине, кто был первым президентом Америки.
Что? Что ты такое говоришь? Я не хочу видеть эту черномазую нахалку в моей квартире.
Sonia said.
The first President of the United States was George Washington.
But the lady sensed some confusion. After a short pause, she said,
This is the correct answer. Very good, Grandma.
However, she had no clue why Sonia was so confused. The real reason was that 70-year-old Sonia, who spoke decent English only because she had been an English teacher in Ukraine, would sometimes get a little confused between the president's name and the bridge.
Что ей еще нужно, выгони ее. Я устала. Дай мне мои таблетки.
Granny whined.
What did she say?
The lady asked with a smile.
She says different things. You know, old people say a lot of things. She said that she was very glad to live in America, and...
Sonia replied, before being interrupted by Granny, who forcefully asked,
Соня, ты слышала, что я только что сказала? Дай мне мои таблетки.
And that her children and grandchildren live in this wonderful country.
Sonia ignored her mother.
Ты что? Глухая. Соня.
Granny became angry.
Мама, дай мне закончить разговор с женщиной,
She said quietly.
и я дам тебе твои таблетки.
Then she turned back to the lady again.
She asks how many questions you will ask.
We'll be done soon, Grandma. I need to ask 2 more questions. Grandma, can you tell me what Americans celebrate on the 4th of July?
Sonia turned to her mother and repeated the question in Russian. Granny was confused. She had never heard of such a holiday, and she was angry with the lady, who, despite Granny wanting her to leave, kept smiling and asking her nonsensical questions. After a few seconds of silence, Granny burst out into curses.
Да как она смеет задавать свои бесстыжие вопросы, сидя за моим столом и нахально улыбаясь, когда я велела ей убираться по добру по здорову. Она над нами издевается. А ты что, совсем не понимаешь? Нет никакого такого праздника. Ты что, напилась? Выпей стакан водки и ложись спать.
She said the 4th of July was Independence Day.
Sonia said.
Excellent, Ms. Lavina. You did great.
Ну и сколько еще мне нужно ждать, чтобы ты выгнала ее? Она меня раздражает. Почему ты улыбаешься ей?
What did she say?
She said she wanted to answer your question quickly. It's time for her to take her medication.
Of course. I can wait. Don't worry. Give her the medicine.
The lady replied with a smile.
Почему она снова скалится на меня? Это же просто издевательство. Соня. Выгони ее. Убирайся отсюда. Ты что, по-русски не понимаешь? Зачем тогда ты к нам в Украину вообще приехала?
Unfortunately. You don't understand. She doesn't swallow pills. Well. I don't know how to explain it. She takes the medicine. Through. Anus.
Oh, forgive me for God's sake. I understand. I'm almost done. This is the last question. Grandma, can you tell me if you can become President of the United States?
Sonia took a deep breath, expecting her mother to break into curses again.
Мама, она спрашивает, можешь ли ты стать президентом Америки?
Конечно. И Японии тоже. А может, мне в Антарктиду податься, чтобы я вам не мешала разговаривать?
Granny firmly gestured towards the door.
Пошла вон.
And tears flowed from her eyes.
Мамочка. Но не надо нервничать. Я тебе сейчас дам твои таблетки.
She said that she could not be president because she was born not in America, but in Ukraine. You see, she points.
That's right.
The lady concluded.
I will transfer all your documents to the agency, and you will receive notification of your citizenship by mail. Have a nice day.
With a nod, she left the apartment. A couple of months later, Granny became a proud citizen of the United States of America. Unfortunately, no one told her about this momentous achievement, as, if they had, she wouldn't have been able to comprehend it. 3 months later, Granny passed away at the age of 90.